now? Now we have voice. Okay. Hello, good evening, everybody. This is Hedgie, and I am doing a surprise stream, the only unscheduled one of this month. I want to say hello to Glittered Kitten, who is our first subscription of the year. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I want to say thank you to Silvery Frost for tuning in. And I want to say that thanks to Glittered Kitten, I now have sub badges in the process of being approved apparently, and all of my emotes are now up and approved, and I have a whole bunch of absolutely adorable little hedgehog emotes, and um, I recommend her highly. If you have any needs for any artwork done for your streams, definitely try to hit up Glittered Kitten. She is a wonderful artist, and she's so good to work with, and her prices are very reasonable, and it's just I just can't say enough about her. She's just amazing, and she's also a streamer herself, as is Silvery Frost. So if you could give them both shout outs, my lovely husband, I would appreciate that. Although at this point I think it's just shout outs to each other. Glittered Kitten does do art, and she also streams The Long Dark. And Silvery Frost is a chef, and he streams The Long Dark and several other survival games. And I thank you who have already joined me and those that will join me later for my sandwich board stream, which is my way of saying I'm going to make several different sandwiches for you that are kind of unusual, and I didn't have enough room to list them all. So, uh, planned, I am going to make 2 salad-based sandwiches. The first one is going to be uh, I am going to make a Cobb salad sandwich, and that is all of the lovely ingredients of a Cobb salad on a sandwich. And a Cobb salad is typically chicken, and you've got hard-boiled egg, you have blue cheese, you have avocado. Uh, there's just a whole bunch of really lovely things in it. Lettuce, tomato, obviously, and then you usually have a choice of dressing. And since this is a sandwich, our choice of dressing is mayonnaise. And I am going to make a chef salad sandwich. I was going to make a different one, but unfortunately my grocery delivery screwed up. So instead I'm going to make a chef salad sandwich, which is eggs and cucumbers and cheeses, 2 different kinds of cheeses. It has meat in it, and it's got cucumbers and lettuce and tomatoes, and usually turkey and ham. And I am going to leave the ham off of it just so I don't handle ham quite as much. Um, I am also going to make a sandwich that is a grilled ham and cheese sandwich with cucumber on it, because ham goes really nicely with cucumber, and cucumber is really, really underrated. We just don't use it very much in sandwiches here, and that's just a shame. They use it a lot in England, apparently, um, or at least they do on my friend's Connor's stream. It's his birthday today, so I will say happy birthday to Connor for when he watches this stream. And uh, so it's going to be ham and cheese with cucumber and HP sauce, which is often called a brown sauce. And what it is basically it's a sweet and savory sauce that to me tastes a little bit like kind of a sweet barbecue sauce. It has malt vinegar in it and molasses, spirit vinegars, dates, um, and it has tamarind in it, so it adds that little tang to it as well. It goes really well with cheese, goes lovely with eggs. It goes very well with bacon and sausage and ham. I have that on advisement, not from personal knowledge, but I do know that it really jazzes up your eggs and it's absolutely lovely on a cheese sandwich, either toasted or not. Um, and if I have time and inclination, I'm going to make uh, a chicken sandwich with cheese and some of my marinated artichokes that we made in the last stream I did. And so let's get started. The first thing I need to do is cook some of these. Uh, I have a glass of wine for myself too. It's been that kind of day. Um, I need to cook the chicken. And I'm going to scoot this over so you can see it, even though really not that exciting. I have got two boneless, skinless chicken thighs in a nonstick pan with a little bit of spray canola oil. And they're unseasoned. They're also frozen at this moment. To them, uh, that was weird. I just heard a meow. Um, to them, I am going to add some sage, and this is rubbed sage leaves. And I'm just going to sprinkle it. I don't really need to have a lot on here. It's just I think sage adds such a nice flavor to chicken. It's just yummy. I'm going to add a little twist of pepper to each. And then I am going to add a little bit of sea salt. And again, that's very little. Uh, so I am going to get those started cooking. And while I do that, I'm going to start cutting up some of the other condiments that I need. Now, I had been going to make a Rachel sandwich, which is not very well known. Most people, at least in America, have heard of a Reuben. And what a Reuben is a grilled sandwich, which is made on a caraway rye. And it has Swiss cheese, and some people use pastrami, but classically it is corned beef that's put on it. So it's corned beef, Swiss cheese. Um, you use sauerkraut on it, and uh, there's a couple dressings that they put on it. Typically, it's Thousand Island dressing and or mustard, and some people like horseradish on it. I personally like all three. I like it to have a little bit more of a bite to it. And what people don't know is that they also designed another sandwich that goes with it called a Rachel. And a Rachel is, I guess it's more, I guess they thought with the very assertive flavors in the Reuben, because you've got the caraway and the rye, and you have the sourness and tartness of the sauerkraut mixing with the sweetness that you get with Thousand Island dressing, the creamy Swiss cheese, and the robust flavor that you get with all the seasonings that are in corned beef. That seemed to be more of a masculine sandwich, I guess. So they designed a female sandwich to go with it, and it's called the Rachel. And it is also made on caraway rye, and it is turkey. That's just, plain oven roasted turkey, and they put Swiss cheese on it, and they use Thousand Island dressing, and it is again a grilled sandwich. And then what they put on it is coleslaw, which makes a nice, sweet, light crunch to it. The sauerkraut has the sour taste, and the sauerkraut itself adds a crunch to the sandwich inside, just like the uncooked cabbage in the coleslaw adds. And with the sweet tart combination in the coleslaw, it combines really nicely with the turkey. Well, unfortunately, I didn't get the cabbage to make the coleslaw, so I can't do that, and it just seems silly just to make a grilled turkey sandwich, so I'm dropping that in favor of the chef salad. And salads are a really popular thing to eat. They're, of course, low in carbs, or can be. They're also uh, lower in your counts because of that. If you need to watch your carbs, if you're on a keto diet, for instance, or if, like myself, you're diabetic and you need to watch how much bread you eat. And a salad is just oftentimes a better way to get a good balanced meal without having the heaviness of the bread, and it also cuts some of the calories of it as well. So typically, it's a salad has always been a dieter's uh, meal to eat, or very hot weather, throw together a salad. You have that for dinner instead. But I am going to combine my favorite salads, the chef salad and the Cobb salad, into sandwiches. And in this case, I am going to put them on a ciabatta roll. And so I am going to start cutting up some of the uh, produce that I need to have. These are Campari tomatoes. They are a little tomato, um, about twice the size of a cherry tomato, smaller than your standard tomato. Um, Nothing like a beefsteak. They tend to be meatier inside, which makes them good both for sauces and putting them into sandwiches. And oh, these just smell lovely. Mm. They are grown in a hothouse, obviously, and I am going to be putting them on these sandwiches that have the salad ingredients in them. So I'm going to hydrate myself with a sip of wine, and this is a pink muscat. So it's a slightly sweet wine, and it's maybe half a glass. I am going to start cutting up the tomatoes here. And with the big tomatoes, you probably want to take and cut out this area here where the uh, vine adds in. It usually has a little bit of a plug that goes down into it that's unpleasant to eat. But in the Camparis and in the plum tomatoes that I use, or Roma tomatoes, they have less of that plug, so you can just kind of ignore it and cut very close to the top. I'm going to make these slices fairly thin because these are going to be pretty thick sandwiches with all the salad ingredients that are going to go on them. So I will cut this up. And as you can see here, you're starting to see in the middle there, that little plug area. It's very tough to chew. It's not nice. So I am going to put those things aside and use them later for a tomato sauce that I'll be making. Upcoming, I am going to be making some of the things that were requests from people. I am going to be making pizzas, and I'm going to be making my chicken mushroom chowder, which is absolutely delicious. And I am going to venture into British foods. I am going to be making a cottage pie. And does anybody know the difference between a cottage pie and a shepherd's pie? I'm just asking the question, hoping somebody can answer. Give you a minute or so to think about that before I give you the answer. Yes, honey, I know you know. My husband, if nobody has caught it before or been told, is British. So he knows the difference between a shepherd's pie and a cottage pie and a Lancashire pie and all of the different pasties that they have out there. And that is how it is pronounced, I believe. And since I didn't get an answer other than from my husband, in America we tend to call shepherd's pie anything that has mashed potatoes on top and sort of a stew-like ingredient in the bottom. And it tends to be either beef or chicken in our country. Exactly. One is beef, the other is lamb. or mutton, and beef is a cottage pie, and shepherd's pie is made with lamb or mutton, because obviously shepherd. You don't find the people who look after cows to be called shepherds. Well, I will be making a cottage pie because my father absolutely hates lamb. His uncle, when he was growing up, had a farm where uh, he bred sheep and lamb, and let's just say it was not a pleasant experience for him, and this mere smell of cooking lamb just makes him nauseous. So I won't torment him that way, and I will make cottage pie instead, which means you're going to get to see me make mashed potatoes, which should be hysterical because I haven't made them in about 12 years, not since I married my husband, and made the mistake of taking a shortcut and feeding him uh, mashed potatoes that were instant on top of um, a shepherd's pie, pardon me, a cottage pie that was made with fake meat as well. It was tofu meat, and let's just say ever since then he has told me I am not allowed to make mashed potatoes. So this will be a good foray. Hello! Hey LD, how are you doing? I'm glad you came along from. He is another professional chef and a streamer in the long dark. And as I have said repeatedly, most of my uh, followers are from the long dark community, which seems to be just chock-a-block full of both uh, chefs and foodies. So, uh, so David, for you who are joining us a little bit late, and for those who have just come in, I'm making a sandwich board tonight. I'm making several different kinds of sandwiches. I am going to make a grilled ham and cheese with HP sauce and cucumbers on it, and I am going to be making a chef salad sandwich, which has all of the ingredients of a chef salad on it. And I'm going to make a Cobb salad sandwich, and uh, which of course has all of the ingredients of a Cobb salad on it. And then I will be going and making a, uh, ouch, chicken sandwich with chicken and marinated artichoke hearts and Swiss cheese. And I'm going to have that grilled so it's nice and cheesy and melted and lovely. So normally I would have tried to make this with leftover chicken, but although we had chicken last night, which my husband cooked in the oven, we didn't actually have any leftovers. That's not uncommon, unfortunately. um, I'm going to get this out of the way and plunk it into my salad bowl, which was here to make coleslaw in, but I'm not making coleslaw anymore. I'm going to cut up my English cucumber, which, if you do not already know, an English cucumber is a cucumber that has very, very small seeds and a very thin rind. It has a better flavor to the rind. You don't need to cut it off. Um, it has an almost sweeter taste than the standard cucumbers. The they're just, as you can see here, the seeds are tiny, unlike a regular cucumber. And the seeds in a regular cucumber and the rind combine to make them a little bitter. And with the English cucumber, you don't have the bitterness from the seeds, and the rind is very, very thin, and you get all of the crunch and the lovely cucumber flavor with almost no um, bitterness. So I am going to cut some of these up. They are going to be going on the ham sandwich. As I said, ham and cucumber goes together really well. When my cousin was getting married, they threw a tea uh, bridal shower for her, and they made a lot of different tea sandwiches. And at the time, I didn't know that uh, I was actually allergic to ham and pork products, so I would often eat them and get sick afterwards. One of the sandwiches that they had there was a ham and cucumber sandwich with honey on it, just a little bit of honey. And that was very tasty, actually. I've never had a problem with the taste of pork. It's just how it hits me afterwards. Um, in any case, so I've given my husband ham and cucumber sandwiches more than once. And this is also going to go on the chef salad because it just packed the vegetables in. Why not? It's always good for that. And these also work very well for pickling. Ooh, there's somebody slamming our freeze door outside. Our apartment building has a freeze door that when our weather is freezing, they engage it, and it supposedly helps keep our pipes from freezing. And we've been having a lot of wintry weather here lately. Okay, so I've got enough of the cucumber cut up now. And the next thing I need to do is take and shred some lettuce. I was going to try to be lazy. Unfortunately, my grocery store, because of all the winter weather we've had here, hasn't got in all of its deliveries. The cupboards are awfully bare in places, and one of the things they didn't have was pre-shredded lettuce, so I couldn't get away with being really lazy like I wanted to. So I'm going to take and shred some of this lettuce, and that will be used on the sandwiches as well. Yeah, honey, when you gave the shout outs did appear. Um, like I said, for some reason, sometimes I can't see when I give shout outs, and so I'll often try to do it more than once. Okay, let's get rid of this, turn down the heat a little bit underneath the chicken. And again, that's just a boneless, skinless chicken thigh, and it has got a little bit of salt and pepper on it, and it's got sage. And I have a little bit of a spray canola oil underneath it. And I am cooking that because I don't have leftovers from last night from our chicken to make these chicken sandwiches out of. And I told a lovely story about the Rachel sandwich, which is the twin of the Reuben sandwich, except it's made instead of with sauerkraut and corned beef. It is made with coleslaw and turkey. I highly recommend trying it, and when I can, I'll make another one of these sandwich streams and add a few more kinds of sandwiches for you all to look at, and see if I can get a Rachel sandwich made for you all. It's really a lovely sandwich. Okay, I'm going to turn my chicken over again. This is starting from frozen, so it's taking a little extra while. You never want to undercook your chicken. Yes, I know there are people and places where you can have chicken and eat it medium rare. I personally would never be comfortable doing that. I just wouldn't. So I am going to keep chopping here, and this is going to be shredded. And shredding it, you just want to take out the core, which I did, because the core, especially of iceberg lettuce, is pretty bitter. Um, no idea why, it just is. So I tend to cut it out, and I will take the bigger chunks of the veins that run up the outside of the leaves. I'll take them off for the same reason. It's the same reason why when you're eating, um, uh, oh shoot, what's the name of the lettuce? Other lettuce. Help me out here, LD. It's the one that you make Caesar salads with. I can't think of the name of it. All I'm thinking of is radicchio, and I know that's not right. Um, anyway, it is, that's the bitter part of the lettuce, so you tend to cut those off. And for this, you just take and make skinny little lines in it and just cut those off, and then you get big shreds. And you can either leave them big like this, where they're very long, or you can cut them in half, which is generally what I do as well. You can make salads out of this, but it goes especially well on sandwiches. And uh, I don't really have any stories associated with these, except that I really liked the salads, and I thought, hey, let's put them into a sandwich and see what happens. So, because there's really no reason to, leave any of this off. It's just we generally don't put that much onto a sandwich. Um, the classic sandwiches you have are a club sandwich, a Reuben, a French dip. A club sandwich is a triple-decker sandwich, if you don't know. It's made with turkey and sometimes ham and bacon, and it is made with it's 3 layers, usually white or wheat bread. They're toasted, not fried, and you have bacon, lettuce, and tomato, and turkey, mayonnaise, and it's a really impressive looking sandwich when you get those. The Reuben I've already described, and of course a French dip. I will eventually get around to making you guys French dips and possibly have an entire show about the French dip because it's kind of a fascinating story. The French dip was created down in California, actually, at a place called Philippe's. And that place is still standing to this day. And it is a French roll, which is uh, sliced in half, and they have roasted assorted meats. The classic French dip is made with roast beef. At Philippe's, yes, romaine. Thank you very much, LD. Um, Philippe makes French dips in ham, turkey, lamb, and roast beef. And the story behind how the French dip came about is a man ordered one of Philippe's sandwiches. The roll was cut in half, the meat was piled in, and he was doing this over a tray that had the au jus from it, which is basically the cooking juices and broth and seasonings, all that yummy stuff that you would normally make a gravy out of, was still there in the pan, and the person making the sandwich, dropped the roll into that juice, and the customer said, "Oh, I'll take it like that. That's fine." And they found out that was really, really tasty, and that is how the French dip came about. And if you go to Philippe's down there in California, you can get one to this day, and they serve it either with a light dip, which is they dunk it lightly in the au jus. You can get it with a heavy dip where they absolutely soak it. And you can get the dip on the side so that you can get a light dip and then or a heavy dip and then add extra as you eat it. The French dip was always one of my favorites when I was growing up. Um, the French dip was always one of my favorites. I just dearly loved it. I really liked the clubhouse sandwich, although I usually took the middle piece of bread out, and because it was just too big to get in my mouth. And as I grew older, the Reuben gained ground, but it's kind of a horse race, and it's back and forth, whichever I feel most inclined to eat. Um, French dips and uh, Reubens are probably my favorite sandwiches. They are just delectable. Okay, so I have got the chicken here now that I need to test. So I am going to test and see if they are cooked all the way through. Theoretically, they should be. That one is. This is the heavier one of the two. So I'm going to cut this open and look and see if it's done. And it is not. So I am going to leave that one in there for a bit longer. And I will not be using that knife again since it touched raw chicken, or at least undercooked chicken. This one, however, can come out. Honey, can I get a plate? Not a presentation plate that I can put these on? Sorry, I should have asked you for that. Reubens are amazing. I absolutely love them. Corned beef sandwiches in general and corned beef, yummy. I actually make, my grandmother used to make what she called roast dinners. And it was corned beef that was cooked with cabbage and potatoes and carrots. And thank you, honey. Thank you. And it was cooked originally in a Dutch oven with water. And then later on, once Reynolds came out with oven cooking bags, she cooked it that way. And that was just really yummy. And one day my cousin and I were cooking and I got to thinking about it. And I started wondering if there wasn't a way to make that roast dinner into a soup, because soups are always fun. So we, thank you. So we did a little experimenting. We started out by cooking uh, the corned beef brisket in the baking bag, along with a couple heads of um, cabbage that we wedged. Added in, red potatoes and some carrots and a little bit of water and let it cook. And then when it was almost done cooking, we took it out of the oven and we found a way to make that cooking juices be added to chicken stock, and cut up everything that was in that bag and threw it all into the pot, and that was just fantastic. It did not taste like chicken broth. It tasted like corned beef, and not too salty corned beef too, so that was fabulous. And that became a core recipe that my cousin and I came up with together. And her husband, who absolutely loves corned beef and loves soup, then had this fabulous soup that we made a lot of, and we ended up freezing it, and it freezes beautifully. So, what have we got here? I'm going to roll this up a little bit so I can see what it says here. I've only found one place locally that makes the French dip that you'd kill for. It's made with super fantastic meat, and it's not just chunks of fat. You pay $26 for one, but dang, it's amazing. Wow, 26 is, it had better have a lot of meat on there and be prime rib. I went to a jewelry trade show in downtown Seattle at the convention center, and one of the food stalls they had was actually from the Emerald Downs uh, horse race place. This was their fancy restaurant. And they showed up there and they were selling French dips that they made with prime rib. So they had a whole prime rib roast in there. And Nearly a pound on a fresh house. Yeah, that would be worth it. Um, they served the prime rib uh, sliced 1/4 inch thick slices. They didn't do it really thin, but they put a whole lot of little pieces on their whole slices onto, baguettes that were about this big, almost a foot long. And they charged us $11 for it. And it was probably 3/4 of a pound of meat on it. It was a lot, but oh, it was fabulous. They didn't over season anything. There wasn't garlic on it. They just used salt, pepper, and that was it. And then roasted it and did it right. So that was absolutely fabulous. Now I'm going to look at this again. And what I'm looking for those of you who might not know, when you're looking at a chicken thigh, you've got dark meat here, so it's not as easy to see if it's pink as it is um, when it's a breast. But the meat should not have any tinge of pink to it, and when you squeeze it, it shouldn't have any pink to the juice either. This is now done. So I'll let that cool for a minute because it's very hot, and I will turn off the heat underneath this and see if I can get my husband to wash this out, since I need to make turkey bacon in it. That is one of the ingredients of a Cobb salad. He's coming in from the $multi-million. Oh yeah, casinos. Once upon a time, casino food used to be really cheap because they weren't making their money on the food. The food was just there to keep you there. You could go down and have, an entire dinner for about $5, and we're talking prime rib and a mashed potato and vegetable and a salad and soup and all of this. And the casinos would charge you $5 for it because what they wanted to do is keep your butt in the chair. They did not want you to get up and leave to go anywhere. So they had their table service where you could go. They had their restaurants that you could go to and bring your kids into, and the food was cheap, the drinks were cheap. The whole point was they just wanted you there for your money. You were curious because you're doing a cooking stream. Uh, Silvery Frost. Are you using a cell phone for your cooking stream? Me? I am not. My cooking stream uses a very nice uh, camera that we got on sale on a Black Friday sale, and it's listed in my Discord if you want to go to my Discord. All of the equipment that I use on stream, both for my camera and the camera mounts now, I haven't linked the table because that seems a little silly, but all of my cooking things and the technical is listed there. So except I've got about a 6-year-old, 7-year-old now laptop. It was a gaming laptop that was a very nice gaming laptop when we bought it. That is my streaming computer, and that streams and runs games and everything. So I don't have a separate streaming computer. All right, so the next thing I need to do now is make bacon. Now, for my husband's lights, this would be fakin', because it is, in fact, I'll turn it right side up, turkey bacon, because I can't touch real bacon. So instead, I've got turkey bacon because this is going to be for me. I will be touching actual ham later. So that is the very last thing I'm going to be cooking. We can't find my nitrile gloves, and I am so allergic to it that it just makes me violently ill at the least touch. So have to be very, very careful. It's not quite as bad as the garlic allergy, which stops my breathing, but this makes me fairly efficiently tear along the perforation and it'll just open. Yeah, right. It's not quite working that way. Okay, we'll repack it in something else. Yeah, my ham allergy, pork allergy, makes me very efficiently very, very sick. So I have got some turkey bacon here, which will not make me sick. And I'm going to take and it is actually fully cooked. You just need to crisp it up. So having it here on the board isn't going to hurt anything. I was checking. And I'm going to lay out some pieces here. I'll turn this back up to about a medium-high heat. And everything from my lovely Farberware hot plate here that you see off to the side to my measuring spoons, my wok, my new and lovely Dutch oven that I've got from Cuisinart. All of those are listed in my Discord if in case you want to see what it is that I'm using. This is not my frying pan. This is actually my parents', so but it's nicer looking than the ones I have. I'm slowly replacing them one by one. Um, this is the Farberware hot plate is not your standard hot plate. It is actually the burners that you see on it are slow to heat but have wonderful even heat on it. And the reason why is because that is cast iron. So I'm actually cooking on cast iron as a heating source, which is wonderful. Okay, stream keeps stalling on my end, so I apologize if anyone says anything. Yeah, it does you too, huh? I don't know if I'm dropping frames, but it could just be our cable we have here. It could be the fault of my computer. I'm not sure. We'll take a look at it after stream and see what the performance issues were. Um, I say we, I mean my husband, not me. It'll never be me. Um, I just don't do these kind of things. It's not dropping frames according to OBS. Okay. So it's just somewhere along the line, either on your end or my end or Twitch's end. Let me see. Okay. All right. So I am now trying to get some sort of crisp on the bacon. Turkey bacon. I'll be efficient there. It is turkey bacon. And I will set that off to the side as well. Ow. You know, this is hot. Don't touch it with your hand. Okay, so I have got the lettuce, I've got the tomatoes, I have got cheese, which you cannot see. I've got both a medium cheddar, I have got a lovely Swiss cheese, and I have blue cheese crumbles. As a matter of fact, I have smoked blue cheese crumbles for my Cobb salad sandwich. I'm going to open that up now. Blue cheese is a very assertive cheese, incidentally. It tends to be a little expensive. It kind of resists melting a bit, um, but it is a very assertive, kind of funky cheese. Penicillin, like my husband has in his family. You don't want to go near this. The blue in these crumbles is, I believe, penicillin mold, which is fine, but if you're allergic, not so fine. So my husband doesn't come anywhere near this. Oh, that smoked flavor is lovely. Mmm. It has yep, it's penicillium. That is the mold source in here that gives it the blue flavor, the blue color that runs through it. That is a penicillin mold. So husband cannot have. He wouldn't enjoy it anyway. Um, this is just, it actually has a very creamy texture, and it has an absolutely lovely, just light smoke hint to that. So if, for instance, you were skipping the bacon you'd still get that smoky flavor that you get in your Cobb salad because in this case the um, the cheese has the smoke flavor in it. There's other ways to fake that. You can get some actual hickory seasoning salt, which is just hickory smoked salt actually. And I actually add that to some soups that I make instead of regular salt, just to add the extra smoke flavor to it. When I'm making my vegetarian um, bean soups, I add that in there because normally I would be adding ham to it, but I don't. So let me see here. Have burned myself one time. Well, thank you very much, honey, for adding that in there. Uh, Apparently, Kitten's lovely um, sub badges are not yet approved, but as I'm sure Andrew can show you again, and Kitten definitely can, my emotes are all approved. My cute little emotes that I have that are all Hedgepigs that she made for me. And I can't say again often enough, if you need to have artwork done for your stream or your merchandise, go for it. Talk to the Kitten. She does a fabulous job and she's so easy to work with. Um, Very talented artist and very lovely woman. So, Kitten is amazing. And if you're not selling merch and there's people that are saying, hey, you should sell merch, you know what? You should listen to those people because they probably want to buy something that has your name or face on it. So, making sneaky noodles with chicken and Havarti. What exactly is a sneaky noodle? Is it a noodle that just kind of creeps up on you, or I'm not really sure what a sneaky noodle would be. Enlighten me. Yes, David, we were talking about you last night. We were talking about art and about the fact I was going to go back and get some merchandise made. Um, Probably cooking aprons, maybe some stickers, if I can find a good mug. Possibly something like that that will come in the future. I'm going to turn the heat down on that because I think it's pretty much done. Woo! And it's popping and cracking like a madman. I am now going to take and put that on some paper towels so any grease that it has in it will drain off. Normally, woo! I don't know if you hear that popping, but that was a loud pop. Normally, I would probably cook this in the microwave just because it's faster. Sneaky noodles is a dish that David came up with a while ago. He shared the recipe with me. Oh, cool. Sneaky noodles. That's an interesting name for it. Okay. All right, so I've got these out of here now. Coming up from my stream, like I said, there's a lot of things that I'm going to be making. I'm going to make my chicken mushroom chowder coming up, and that will actually be Saturday's stream. And I will also, I might use this instead of the large skillet that I've got out here. Let me take and wipe this out so that I don't have any bacon grease in it. And I've been asked what I think about this copper diamond plate stuff that I've got here, and it seems to be pretty good. It's got a couple gouges on it just from mishandling, but it's a pretty solid non-stick. I'll see if I can find a link to it for you all. All right, I am going to start assembling sandwiches. So I have got a sourdough French here, and I'm going to make my first sandwich on it, and then I am going to grill it. And I'm going to do it in this frying pan here. Ooh, my chat suddenly really ran with it. I call them sneaky because I can sneak things in that normally won't be willingly eaten by the eaters. Yeah, that's good, like for kids and stuff. Okay, so as I said before, this is a nice artisan bread. It's a little sturdier than your average sandwich bread. And I am going to put together the... Nope, I'm sorry. I am not going to do it in this one because I need to have both pieces of bread in it at once, and I can't do that on this. So I will have my husband take this away. Unplug this and get the heck out of his way. Okay, I'm going to move off to the side now so that he can reach this around me carefully. There we go. What is that under there? Okay, so I will get my Campari tomatoes out of the way, and I will get my cucumber out of the way, and definitely the ham out of the way. I need the mayonnaise. Okay, and I now have my big frying pan here, my electric skillet. And for grilling a sandwich, you can use mayonnaise on the outside, which is what I'm going to use, or you can use butter or margarine. Both of them are just a fat source that helps toast the bread. And honey, before you sit down, I will need 3 presentation plates. I think I have a white marble one. Can you hear me? Did I go dead again? Okay, sorry, honey. I will have the long rectangular one and the white plate and the black plate. So I am going to take this, I am going to turn and put this in a fairly warm but not overly warm temperature. This is 300 degrees. And if you're going to get an electric frying pan, some of them don't really have temperatures on them. I suggest you find one that actually has a temperature so you know what it is that it's doing. You know when it says, instead of just guessing somewhere between start and high, you've got temperatures, which will tell you things like how hot it actually is. What did I do with the knife? There it is. So I will spread the outside with a little bit of mayonnaise, and that will work as the butter would. The first sandwich I'm going to put together, thank you, honey, is going to be the club salad sandwich. So I will start by laying that piece of bread down. And then, let me see, I think, yep, that goes on that way. So this piece will be mayonnaised a little bit too. And then I will start by putting the cheese on each side to be melted. think you can see it a bit. Yeah. I'll try to move that a little bit closer. I have to move my utensil tub out of the way. And yeah, why not use that one? Oof. Yeah. So this is going to have some cheese on it. And now a chef salad, if you've never come across it before, has usually turkey and ham or bacon on it. It has cheddar cheese usually. This is going to have cheddar cheese on it. And sometimes it has Swiss cheese on it as well. This is going to have Swiss cheese on it. And I use a medium cheddar. You can use a sharp if you want or a mild. I'm using a medium because we don't like cheeses that are that assertive. Um, so I have got the cheddar on there. And I am going to get the Swiss out now. Put the Swiss on the other side. They can't come out. Okay. And I have got, if my mic goes out, please let me know by putting, audio in the chat, because my husband has stepped away from the computer for a few minutes and he will not be able to bark Mike at me. So, which can get confusing because my oldest brother's name is Mike. Okay. So a chef salad has usually turkey, um, ham in it, or um, bacon, sometimes both, depends, usually two, sometimes three meats. It has hard-boiled egg. It has tomatoes and cucumbers. Sometimes it has olives, not standardly. Tomatoes, lettuce, obviously. And we are going to make the sandwich with a generous helping of uh, turkey. And I'm going to put several pieces on this because I'm going to feed it to my father, who needs to gain weight. He is elderly and infirm and all too often just decides not to eat. So when I can get him to eat, I try to get him to eat a normal sized portion, which he doesn't always like to do. I hear a lot of, if you're making me a sandwich, make it little, don't make a big one. So there is that. And I'm going to add some bacon onto the other side because I can touch this and not hurt myself. And okay, I think I'm going to add this last piece up here. And basically all you're doing is cooking it for 2 to 4 minutes on each side, long enough for the cheese to melt. And it is starting to get really nicely melted looking. Let me check the bottom. Not quite brown enough yet. I'm going to turn the heat up a little. I've got it at 325 now. And the cheese is starting to melt and become gooey, which is lovely. And after I take these off, I will assemble them on a plate, and I will be adding in cucumbers and tomatoes and, interestingly, a hard-boiled egg, which is another thing that comes on this. Not something you normally see in a sandwich, but it does add to the flavor. So I am going to cut up a hard-boiled egg, and yeah, I was lazy enough to buy it hard-boiled. I didn't want to have to. I was originally going to make egg salad sandwiches as well, but I didn't want to cook and shell these, not with the way I've been feeling lately. So, uh, and my husband says, if this makes me feel sick like the last one did, I won't be streaming till I'm completely better, not just I feel better today, honey, why don't I try a stream? So, uh, and I think we're getting awfully close here. So I'm going to move this off because it doesn't belong here right now, nor do the other cheeses. And all right, I'm fairly sure I've reached somewhat golden. Oh yes, I've got very nicely golden brown here. And here I will take and make them face each other. And what I'm going to do now is put the egg slices on. And you allow about uh, one egg per sandwich, um, is a good idea to have there. And now I am going to add some of these lovely Campari tomato slices to it. Over on the side that has, actually before I do that, I am going to lay down some Thousand Island dressing because that is the dressing my father prefers. And I'm going to add a little bit here. Come on. Oop, I think I've got a pickle lodged in it. Okay. Yeah, I think I have a pickle lodged in this. And it does not want to come out. Let's see. There we go. All right. Because Thousand Island dressing is basically mayonnaise, ketchup, and sweet pickle relish. And that relish is gonna, I might have to cut this as a larger hole. But, so we're gonna put a little bit of that on here. And then we're gonna add some of these Campari tomato slices down on top of that. And here's a little partial slice that I can fit in over there. And now I'm going to add a few cucumber bits. And can you already see what I'm lining myself up for? It's going to be hard to get this little double together. And here's the last of the cucumber. And then I'm going to take some of my shredded lettuce and put that over this. What is your favorite kitchen small appliance or gadget? At the moment, I would say I'm not sure if it's a small appliance, um, but I definitely love the air fryer. It makes making a lot of the things that I cook. Hang on, I need to perform some surgery. Um, it makes doing the frying that I like to do a lot easier, um, just by the sheer fact that uh, I can deep fry something in effect without actually having to use oil, which adds a lot to the um, calories and ill health of it. Woo, that's a big sandwich. This is a sandwich that is about a good 2.5 inches tall. And as you can see, it's nicely golden brown. And I am going to take and plate it on a nice rectangular plate I have here. And I don't know if I can convince my husband to take a bite of this, but I might be able to be convinced. And cut it in half. Oh, come on. Cut, 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 cut. And now I will show you the... Huh? Yep. I am going to angle it here. Look at this. Doesn't that look like a sandwich you want to take a bite of? I am now going to angle this here, make it look a little bit neater for my husband so he can take a picture of it. Honey, come take a picture, please. Okay. And now I will start on the next sandwich, which is going to be my Cobb salad sandwich. So, I am starting the same way with a couple pieces of this sourdough French. And that's kind of a funky looking piece of bread. Uh, Possibly Dad's. Mom can't have it though. My mother is restricted in her sodium, and I think the bacon exceeds what she can have. Oh, what the heck. If she wants to eat some of it, she can have it too. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, the air fryer is absolutely wonderful. I made my uh, egg rolls in it. I regularly heat up fried things like spring rolls I get, or I also heat up things like I fry chicken in it without oil. Just a light spritzing of canola oil from the well, this, and that's enough to actually brown it. So that saves a lot of calories and a lot of grease. And if you are above a certain age, I won't list that age. I recently turned that age. The uh, oil is sometimes a little bit um, hard to deal with. So, okay, now I am going to layer on the other ingredients that go in a Cobb salad. So, one of the ingredients that go on a Cobb salad is blue cheese. Now, the first time I made this, I actually used a blue cheese dressing, and that blue cheese dressing made the sandwich a little soggy. So, but I thought, it's a spread, so that would be better than using crumbles. Well, no, not really. Um, so I've got blue cheese crumbles here, and I'm going to add another cheese on top of this so that it kind of melts in with that. And I don't really want that burning, so I'll add that in there. And I absolutely love Swiss cheese, so I will combine that with some Swiss. I'm one of the few people in this family that likes Swiss cheese. So here is my Swiss. And I'm going to break that in half there. Oy. Swiss cheese is going to go on the other side. When you're grilling sandwiches and you're putting cheese on it, cheese is a lovely thing to be profound with. I am now going to combine that with some of the chicken that I cooked earlier. And I will lay that out over on this side. And I've got that there. And I will lay the bacon over it because bacon also goes on a Cobb salad. Cobb salads are lovely things, and they can have, I've seen them with turkey on them. I've even seen them with beef, which I thought was a little strange, but not so bad. And when I was living down in Portland, I found a place that had a seafood Cobb salad that was absolutely amazing. They put crab on it and shrimp on it, and they had scallops on it. Oh, my mouth is watering from that. And, then they had the blue cheese and the avocado and the egg and all that that goes on it. And, oh, it was just lovely. Um, Never found another place that did it. It's just this little place down there. Um, can't remember the name of the restaurant now right off the top of my head. McGrath's. That's it, McGrath's Fish House. So, now we take and we wait for this to brown. And this will also have a hard-boiled egg on it. And these are just organic hard-boiled eggs. Nothing terribly special, but if you're trying to eat them by themselves, and I used to get them out of vending machines, um, they bounce like a rubber ball. They're way overcooked, um, but it works for a sandwich, um, so that's good enough. You sent me an email. Oh, okay. All right. Thanks, kitten. I'll check after that. Pressure cooker is good. Grills are nice. I love the air fryer. I love my electric wok. That is absolutely fabulous. And um, I also love my immersion blender. And it's just so much fun. I used to have it instead of a real blender, but I kind of, um, well, I bought a real blender because to help my dad with his weight issues and that he's losing too much. I bought a real blender so I could make him milkshakes with his protein drink that he gets and ice cream. I'm going to look and see if this is browned. Yes, it is. So I'll get that out here. Chicken. I have got bacon. Now I need to put the egg on. Not being quite so neat with this one. And there's the egg. And then I have one of my favorite things to stick on a sandwich, avocado. And I am going to put it over on this side and kind of mash it down into the cheese and hope it stays put when I carefully flip the sandwich. This is some frozen diced avocado. Our avocados, if you don't plan ahead, you don't have them ripe enough, and finding a ripe avocado in a store is, kind of like Prince Charming looking for Cinderella with the shoe. Doesn't happen very often, and you either find them too soft or, you can break your teeth on them. So Always best to get your avocados ahead of time, um, but I decided to stream at 11 o'clock this morning, so I didn't have time to do that. All right, the next ingredient that I am going to put on here is going to be tomatoes and lettuce. So I get some more of my nicely sliced tomato. I'm going to put it on top of the eggs. Now, if you want to use a different kind of dressing, if you want to use ranch, if you want to use blue cheese on your sandwich, that is perfectly fine and up to you. If you want to use gluten-free bread, go ahead. If you want to use, just bread out of the bag instead of a more artisan style, again, also up to you. And your food is your food. Um, I am going to put Thousand Island dressing on it because I also like Thousand Island dressing. And I've got another pickle stuck in here. Okay. I knew it was going to do that. It just splooged everywhere. Okay, and to that I am going to add some shredded lettuce on top. And now I will take and very carefully line this up and put it over the top and kind of mash it together. And get the extra avocado out of the way for now. And this messy little sandwich is now going to go on my very pretty white marbly dish. I will pick that up and put it on here. And this is another sandwich that's a good 2.5, 3 inches thick. I'm going to get some of the extra out of the way. Try to clean up the area a bit so I've not got really nasty fingers to show crap everywhere. Now I will cut this sandwich in half, or roughly half. And once again, get more avocado out of the way. It's very profound with the avocado. So I'm going to get that out of the way. And I will take this part and I will show you the cross section of this lovely sandwich. Doesn't that look yummy? This one personally is going to be mine. So I will give this to my husband to take away for a moment. Clean up some of the extra sauce. All right, and here's the second sandwich to take away and photograph. And these will be showing up in my Discord, and they'll also have an Instagram that you can see my food on. So, now I've got those two sandwiches down. I am going to make the chicken and artichoke one. Try to get it a little bit better balanced, honey, if you can. Yeah, do. Okay, my fingers are a little oily at the moment. I'm going to use some hand cleaner to get the oil off so that I can open up the lid. Good. And maybe ask my husband if he can open that, because now I can't. Thank you. And I just got laughed at. So, and these are the marinated artichokes that I made a week or so ago. And I'm not going to fish in there with my fingers. That's a little gross. Um, and these don't contain garlic. I did put the recipe up there. And I did include um, how much garlic you could put in here if you want to use garlic. I mean, you can obviously use more, but I would recommend for this quart-sized jar, no more than one artichoke, or pardon me, no more than one garlic clove. And for that, just take and slice it. You can put minced in there if you want to, but slicing's plenty. And it will come and become very nicely marinated as well. And after being in my refrigerator for a week and a half or so, the marinade has completely incorporated in here and tastes absolutely lovely. You get the basil and oregano and parsley. Um, there's the slight saltiness from the salt. This has also got canola oil, and it also has lemon juice in it and a couple tablespoons of um, apple cider vinegar to add a little bit more bite to it. And they're really yummy. This is just one thing you can do to make a sandwich out of it. I already made the one sandwich that was roast beef, baby spinach, and marinated artichoke hearts that then had mozzarella cheese and was toasted, and that was really good. I'm going to take and cut these up a little bit so that they're better for a sandwich. And this is the heart part of the artichoke, and that's some people's favorite part. Some people like the whole thing where you've got the leaves that you eat the pulp off of, and I just love artichokes, all of it. I love the hearts, I love the leaves, I love all of it. It's just so yummy. And um, so I've got this sandwich here, and I am going to take and just give this a rough little chop, because you don't want big chunks of this in your sandwich you can't bite through. And I will now take another piece. I'm going to take smaller pieces for this one. Um, yeah, maybe not those, because they have too many holes in them. The cheese will ooze through. So I have got my mayonnaise here for making the outside of the bread a little browned. And I will take and run a little bit of mayonnaise over the outside again and put it down to grill. This is going to be a lot more like a grilled cheese sandwich. You could put lettuce and tomato and all on it, but I'm not going to. I think it's absolutely lovely just with the melted cheese. And so I am going to lay down pretty much what's left of my Swiss cheese on this one. And piece of Swiss here, and a piece of Swiss here, and then a half to finish up each piece of bread. And for this, I get the rest of the chicken, and I'm going to lay the chicken out on it. And we like our meat in this family, so, and this chicken, once again, was just sauteed in a little bit of canola oil, salt, pepper, and sage. Um, that will add a nice amount of flavor to it. And there we go. Well, I might add some tomato on this later. Okay, and so on top of this, I am just going to layer in the artichokes fairly thickly now, because that's half the fun of this sandwich. And yes, I'm being very careful not to burn myself on this 325-degree cooking surface. And I'm going to first spread out the artichokes, the leaves, and the whole artichoke part. And then I'm going to add in the artichoke bottoms, or the actual heart part. I do this with burritos too. I can never just have a nice burrito. I always overfill. Hi Nagatron, how are you doing? What was that? Oh yes. Oh, look at that. They approved my sub badges. Nagatron is showing my sub badge. That is so awesome. And once again, those are by Glittered Kitten. I can't be happier with them. They're absolutely awesome. How are you doing tonight, Nagatron? And am I lucky enough to also have Mrs. Nog watching? I have been making sandwiches, and if you want to go back and catch the rest of the VOD, they're just bits and pieces. I made a chef salad one, and I made a Cobb salad one. And right now I am making chicken and marinated artichoke hearts with Swiss. And that will soon be mine, all mine. And here, let me take a look, because the longer the burner is on, the hotter it gets. Not quite yet. Okay. You definitely don't want to burn these, at least for the public. I have a soft spot in my heart for grilled cheese sandwiches that are burned, actually black. And my grandfather, my paternal grandfather, didn't know how to cook. The only thing he could really cook was eggs, and he hard cooked them. And he cooked bacon and burnt the living tar out of it until it was almost black. And the other thing that he did is he made grilled cheese sandwiches for his grandchildren. And yes, I have salads. Actual salads. Or he could get the keto bread that they have, or he could make it into a wrap instead of actually grilling it. Um, he could use a keto tortilla wrap instead. And I have seen those, and then you can just lightly toast those in the pan for maybe 2 minutes, and it will come out nicely browned, and he can then have much less impact of the bread. And Yeah, it's kind of like this. This is chicken and artichokes. I didn't put spinach on it this time, and it's got Swiss cheese instead of cream cheese, and there's no Parmesan on it. But this is fairly amazing. It's really going to be nice and tasty. This is ready to come off now, and I will put it here and here. And now I am going to add a little bit of tomato to it because I can, and I love tomato anyway. Um, and this is nice little meaty Campari tomatoes, so they're nice and ripe. And it doesn't really need another dressing because it already has the marinade on it. What is Pink Pig? Pink Pig is a toy that I have that he gave me. And Pink Pig is a little female hedgehog that is wearing a pink tutu and a bow over her ear. And if right now she's missing an action, um, if you were to redeem that, I would make her dance underneath the camera while strangely cooing, Pink Pig, Pink Pig. So, uh, come on, cut. All right, so here we have another sandwich, and it's not cut all the way through. And here is your cross section here. So you have got lots of artichokes and chicken and cheese, and I do not have enough plates. Maybe the chicken plate, if I wipe it off, will be good enough. Let's just take that and we'll just wipe this off onto this plate here. And then, oh, that's going to be for the ham sandwich. And that is what is coming up next is my ham sandwich that I'm going to be making. That is ham and cucumber and cheddar cheese. So I am going to put this here on the plate, and then I am going to cross it with this bit of sandwich. And my husband is going to try to get an attractive picture of this. Sometime. And I will now start on the forbidden food, at which point I can't eat anything until I get up and actually scrub my hands. What was that? I know, honey. All right, now I'm going to take, and at this point I won't be able to eat anymore, ham. And cheddar cheese. So I am going to take a couple more pieces of this bread. I've almost plowed through a loaf of this stuff, believe it or not. And I am going to take and put that one? No, that's mine. I'm going to make Mom a regular one with no cheese on it. All of these all have cheese. Also mine. Well, I was making different sandwiches, and I won't be eating them both at the same time, no. I am a greedy pig. You could have some too if you wanted, but I don't think you'd like them. So then I'm going to put mayonnaise on the opposite side. then I'm going to take and put cheddar cheese on both sides. Yeah, it kind of tends to be like that. My husband doesn't like artichokes, so he doesn't want to touch anything with artichokes in it. And I don't know whether or not he would eat anything that has the turkey bacon in it either. So it's a toss-up there. Uh, so we've got the cheddar cheese down here. And now I'm going to touch the forbidden food, if I can find it again. There it is. And before I do that, I'm going to salute you all with some wine. And now I touch ham. How did somebody get this open? Oh, there, I see it. Okay. And you can use Black Forest ham or inexpensive ham if you like. It doesn't really matter. Um, this is just a nice little ham sandwich. And fortunately, my allergy is not a contact allergy, so we're good there. And as I said, ham combines really nicely with cucumber, so this is going to get some cucumber on it. And there's the ham. And this is going to need to have some tomato as well. And I'm out of the tomatoes that I already cut. So I'm going to raid my stash of the Campari tomatoes and cut up another one. And Kirkland is good stuff. I like to shop at Costco. Um, I really like the quality of their half shoulder hams that are the smoked ones, and it's kind of like a shoulder cap. That makes really good ham soup, or slabs of ham if you're going to be cooking it with your uh, eggs and bacon, you know, your ham and eggs or something like that. It goes really well in soup. Um, yeah, their olive oil is good. I find that the Kirkland brand, what is that? The Kirkland brand, uh, balsamic vinegar is really nice too. I am going to put together my mother's sandwich now because she can't have cheese. And nor can she have bacon or ham because of salt restrictions. We have a fun little family. Alright, so I've got a ciabatta roll here, and I'm going to put it out for that, and run a knife through it to make sure it's cut through, and try not to lop a finger off. Okay, I need to check on these to make sure they're not burning. Not yet. Need a little bit more time. My mother's sandwich is just going to be turkey. And she doesn't like mustard or anything entertaining like that. I'm going to give her some cucumber. This cucumber is tasty and good for her. Okay. And then I'm going to get some more turkey out of here for her. And I'm not really going to take a picture of this because it's just a turkey sandwich. I've got a really nice recipe for scalloped potatoes with ham that I can give you if you'd like, kitten. Okay, and there's my mother's sandwich. Which doesn't want to cut in half, so I'm going to leave it alone and just wrap it in paper towel. And there we go for her sandwich. Shoot. And I will now pick up this bread, which is nicely browned now, and lay it down here. And the other half here. And I'll be turning off my pan now. And I will lay some cucumber here, because cucumber makes a nice crunch. It has lots of vitamins in it, and unlike my husband, who often thinks caterpillars might have pooed on it, it came wrapped in plastic, so obviously that never happened. And then I am going to take his HP sauce and see if I can get it open. Which I can't. I'm so weak. Alright, I can't get his HP sauce open. I will need to appeal to him for that, because he will be coming out very shortly for his sandwich, which I'm putting together now. And I know it will be worth it to him to open up the jar and come out again for me. There you go.
Has a special anti-American lock on it.
Oh, he tells me it has a special anti-American lock on it. Yes, I know. You found it very easy to come off.
Is that for your mother?
That's for Mom, yes. And now I will lay his tomato on top. And add, do I have any more slices in here? Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. I will lay that on there. And then take the HP sauce. And I will put that here on the...
Dad said his sandwich was excellent.
Oh, did he? My father says the sandwich, which was the club salad, no, pardon me, chef's salad sandwich together, he said it was excellent. I'm hoping he didn't give any to Mom.
Spank its bottom.
Spank its bottom? Okay. I know a joke about this, but I'm not going to repeat it.
We all know a joke about this.
Oh, it's really not coming.
You're going to have to shove your knife in there.
And I don't have a knife that is small enough to get in there. Ow. Okay, let's see if I can get this up there enough to break the seal. Okay. And now I'll just go ahead and spread that over the cheese. You want some lettuce on this too, sweetie?
Yeah, why not? Do my weekly,
Salad?
my weekly vegetable thing.
Okay. So then I have got some shredded lettuce for his salad. Just a little bit. And again, if you've never had HP sauce, it's kind of like a sweet and tangy barbecue sauce. Similarly, it has molasses in it and vinegars, and it also has tamarind, so it has a nice tang. So here's his sandwich, and I am going to take and put it onto his plate, which is right here. And then I will carefully cut it in half. There we go. And to show you the side cut of this, doesn't that look tasty? Look at all that ham and cheddar on here with that kind of light British barbecue sauce on it. And I will give this to my husband, who will take a nice picture of it, and then he will report back to me on how it tastes. And meanwhile, I will try to find the mayonnaise lid. There it is. So that is what we made in the stream now. We have made, hey MPH, Happy New Year. Glad to see you come in. I'm sorry to say you came in right at the very end. We have made a grilled ham and cheese sandwich with tomatoes, lettuce, and cucumber, and some HP sauce on it. We made a grilled Swiss chicken and artichoke heart sandwich. We made a Cobb salad sandwich, which had all the ingredients of a Cobb salad on it, grilled again. And we made a chef salad sandwich, which had all of the ingredients of a chef salad on it. And crunchy, tangy HP sauce goes excellent with it, he says, with his ham sandwich he's gobbling down now. And I will say thank you to everybody who came. If you haven't seen the rest of this stream and came in late, you can catch the VOD later. Please join my Discord if you haven't already. And I have a YouTube channel that you can go to, and you can catch all of my VODs since my husband uploaded them all. And I will be coming back this Saturday where I will be making chicken mushroom chowder for you all. Thank you all for coming. Nagatron, Glittered Kitten, um, thanks for the subscriptions to everybody who has subscribed. To those of you who have followed, thank you, thank you. And uh, let's see. I think we are going to go raid, let's say Diving Bean from the Long Dark. He's playing right now. Um, so I hope you all stick around for the stream, for the raid, and load up those new raid emotes I've got for everybody. And I will see you all on Saturday. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope it's better than next year. And thank you for coming.